Hey y'all, it's Renika. Welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I had this idea. I just wanted to let you guys in on some lessons that I have learned in my 28 years of life. Some a little harder than others. Some I'm still working on, like, really grasping and processing. I wanted to make this list with not necessarily everything that I've learned in my year of being 28, but everything that I've learned up until being 28. I just wanted to share that with you, so hopefully you watching this video will either learn from my mistakes, or we can relate and kiki over things that we've had to learn and whatever. But yeah, so I'm gonna get into this video with the 28 things that I have learned at 28. Now, this isn't gonna be in any particular order, but the first lesson that I have learned is that lessons will repeat and cycles will repeat until you understand and learn that lesson. You ever feel like you're meeting, let's say for instance, you ever feel like you keep meeting the same person in just like a different font or like a different skin or face or something, but it's like, damn, I feel like I've met this person before, or I feel like I know this person, and it's probably because that person or that situation, like that job, whatever, is sent to you because they are representing a lesson or a cycle that you need to understand and grasp and learn for yourself, and usually for the betterment of yourself. Like, things are happening for you, not to you. You know, I'm sure you've heard that before. Number 2, birds of a feather flock together. AKA, the company you keep is almost a direct representation of who you are as a person, or at least who you would like to represent yourself as a person. So if you look around and the people that are surrounding you are all people that you're not proud of, or you don't agree with the way that they live their life, then that's an opportunity for you to look at yourself and be like, well, if I don't agree with this person's lifestyle, or I don't necessarily always have the best feelings towards this person, what does that say about me? Birds of a feather flock together. So if you do not agree with a certain lifestyle of a friend, a family member, or whoever, then you need to reevaluate why they're even still in your life. Not to be harsh, but birds of a feather flock together. Number 3. Now, this one is kind of funny, and the more that I've talked to people who are even older than me, the more that I think that this is true, but you do not really age. And then maybe that sounds weirder to like people who are younger than me, but when I was younger, like when I was preteen, teenager, whatever, you think that you're gonna get to these bigger ages. Like at 28, I thought like that was such an adult age, and I thought I would have like a family and kids and all these things. And to be honest, most days I still feel like a 16-year-old. You're still like a kid. I've gotten the same response from other people who are like either around my age or older, that they don't feel as old as they are. And age really is just a mindset. Like, you are as old as you allow yourself to feel. I mean, biology is a thing, I get that, but also at 28, I still feel like 16 or younger. I don't know, like, we are all really just big kids walking around. So if you feel that way, just know you're not alone, okay? Number 4, your perception is reality. If you feel like life is unfair and nothing ever works out for you, guess what? Life will continue to be unfair and nothing will ever work out for you, because that's what you assume life is. And I'm also going to accompany this with saying that energy goes where attention flows. So if you are constantly having negative thought patterns and thinking of a scenario that you hate and don't like, you are going to attract more of that negative feeling and scenario to you. So yeah, you have to be very mindful of what you are allowing yourself to ruminate on, because you're just going to accumulate more of whatever that is. Number 5, you must have faith over fear, aka do not worship worry. You have to have faith. You have to have faith the size of a mustard seed, and as long as you have that, you will be fine. Because once you allow yourself, this kind of goes into like what I just said with the other point, but once you allow yourself to give in to fear, it controls you. It runs you. It stops you right in your tracks. Like faith is so important for you to keep going. It gives you a reason. It gives you hope. And without hope, you are likely to become stagnant and feel like nothing matters. So you have to have faith over fear. Number 6, there is always a way out. And if you cannot find or see that way out, just be still and it will appear. Whether you like the way out or not, there probably is always a way out. I've figured out that usually the path that I don't want to take is the path out. It's just that I don't want to take it. So don't limit what's possible for yourself or where you can go just because you don't like the way out, or just because you don't see it in the way, you know, that God sees it. Number 7, I'm gonna get a little bit messy. Actually, this is not that messy, but number 7 is that I've learned that men love differently from women. And this is one of those lessons I've had to learn the hard way over and over, of just because I feel certain emotions and just because I'm attached to my emotions in a certain way does not mean that the man is, you know. And I can kind of joke about this now, but yeah, just because a man this is kind of up, but yeah, just because a man tells you that he cares doesn't mean that he does. Long-term actions speak a lot better than words. I'm kind of going to add that as a second point to my point. This leads me to my lesson number 8, which is also something I've had to learn the hard way. Don't try to change anybody or their mind, because they will change it if they want to. And I'm not saying don't try to communicate with anybody, but if it becomes a struggle or a back and forth, just stop. Honestly, I've had to learn that over and over and over again, of trying to communicate with people that don't want to be gotten through to. So yeah, learn from me. Number 9, people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. I guess what I'm saying with that is, if someone is not showing something to themselves, like if they don't show that they love themselves, if they don't show that they respect their own boundaries, it's very likely that they're also not going to do that for you. If someone can't see past a certain mind frame, it's less likely that they're going to see past a negative mind frame with you. And yeah, you kind of just can't really take that personally. Number 10, if you do not receive what you want, it's because there's something better, or there is a better way or time frame for you to receive what you want. And I tend to be pretty stubborn and very like, I want what I want when I want it. And that's not always the healthiest thing. Things happen in divine timing, when they're supposed to, how they're supposed to. And fighting against that only causes unnecessary suffering. So if you do not receive what you want when you want it, there just may be something better, or a better way and a better time for you to receive what you want. Number 11, when you look better, you feel better. When you invest into the way that you look, and this is not coming from a like materialistic standpoint, but When you show up in like your best attire, your best hairstyle, your best makeup, whatever that looks like for you, you're gonna feel better. If you are going somewhere that you don't really want to go, or like let's say you're going into work and you don't really want to be there, at least try to dress to the nines, and it usually boosts your mood. Number 12, everything is connected. And everything that is happening, whether it's good or bad, is all working ultimately for your good. I can tell you how many times, at least for sure in recent history, that I've realized that things that didn't work out, or things that happened that may have seemed a little weird, how they later on affected things in my life, where if that event hadn't happened, then this event wouldn't have happened. So you just start to notice like everything is connected. Even every person that you meet, everything that you do, every place that you are, it's all connected and it's all for a purpose. Number 13, peace is boring. Yeah, because of trauma and things that we're just, I guess, used to as a society, or I'm going to speak for myself, but I have grown accustomed to being comfortable in chaos. I can thrive and survive pretty well in chaotic situations, and that is not always the healthiest thing to do, but I'm learning to recognize it. My best friend, we were talking one day. Okay, I'm about to give y'all a little bit of tea, but me and my best friend were talking one day, and she said to me, she was like, Nika, you are really good at masking your emotions. And it kind of took me back a little bit, not because it's not something that I didn't know. Like, I know that I'm good at masking my emotions, but for someone to say that to me, it kind of clicked something in me where I was like, oh my gosh, I am. Like, I'm actually really good when I want to. When I want to be, I'm really good at not showing the way that I feel. And part of that comes from me learning how to survive and show up in chaotic situations. I felt a little bit called out, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I like that. Like, I see where that would be beneficial and how that could work towards my favor, but I don't know if that's how I always want to show up. And that's part of why I'm even doing this video, is because, you know, I don't have it all together. Oh my gosh, I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a little bit of wine. What was my point? Oh yeah, peace is boring. Peace is boring, and you can be so used to chaos that you don't even realize it. And I've kind of been dealing with that lately, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored in my life. But then I'm like, wait, I think I'm bored because nothing chaotic is going on. And I'm grateful for that. It makes me sink into gratitude instead of being like, ugh, this is so boring. But you know what? Peace is boring, and that's okay. Number 14 is that change is constant. The only thing that you can be guaranteed with in life is that you're gonna die and that things are gonna change. And you have to be adaptable to that change. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. Of course, it's easier said than done. But yeah, things are always changing. Everything isn't changing all the time, but you're going to go through phases in life where things change, and you have to learn to be adaptable. Number 15, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Now, I heard this years and years and years and years ago from Maya Angelou when she was on Oprah. And she said this, and I wrote it down, but I still didn't necessarily register it in my mind of what that meant and what that was saying. But yeah, when someone tells you, for instance, like that they're not a good person, or they are a piece of poop, or whatever that they tell you, just take their word for it, because they're not saying it for no reason. And of course, we have our humanness that wants to be like, you are so much better than what you're saying. Like, no, you're not. And of course, like, be a good person, you know, and tell them that they can be better. But also just remember that they are saying that for a reason. And if somebody tells you who they are, what they want from you, what they expect from themselves, what they expect from life, understand that they're saying these things for a reason. Number 16, self-love is the best love. And this is very true. This is something that I'm learning a lot, especially in this season of life, is that everything comes from within yourself. And if you do not know how to love yourself, you will not know how to properly receive love. You will not know how you know how to receive love. You will not know how to properly love others. And a lot of the time, people will treat you the way that you treat yourself. And if you are not loving yourself the way that you should be, they're probably not gonna love you the way that you should be. You teach people how to love you, and that all starts with you truly loving yourself. And truly loving yourself really lets you understand, like, what do you actually need to feel loved and to feel safe. Number 17, this is kind of a little bit different from what we've been talking about, but number 17 is that college tuition is absolutely ridiculous. I went to school for audio engineering 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. I'm still not done paying my tuition. And yeah, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I really could have learned everything that I learned on my own and on YouTube and whatever. I just kind of wanted to be a little bit more official and have that piece of paper that said that I know what I'm doing. But yeah, college tuition is so ridiculous. Like, there's no reason it should be as expensive as it is. So yeah, that's a lesson that I learned, is that college tuition is ridiculous. I'm not gonna say that it's not worth it. Depending on what you are going for and what you want out of your life, it could very well be. But if you can learn what you want, like if you're an artist of any kind and you can find a way without having to go to college and without having to pay a ridiculous tuition, I would look into that seriously. Number 18, life is about the journey and not the destination. I've had a lot of times where I kind of and then myself, where I will say, oh, once I do this, then I can feel good. Then I can be happy. When really you have to find joy and you have to find purpose in all the moments leading up to your goals. Once you reach a certain goal, you will realize that it'll fulfill you for that moment, but you'll still, you know, there's still more to be had. Like, the destination will always come and go, but the journey is constant. So you have to find joy in the journey, because that's what it's about. Because you will twist and turn on this journey. You will change on this journey. You may not even end up in the destination you thought you were going to end up in, but the real meat and potatoes is in the journey. Number 19, if you are constantly trying to escape, you will never learn how to endure. I heard this in a TikTok post. I don't know if I'm going to say his name correctly, but his name is like Robin Boynton. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll post it on the screen. But he was saying that if you are constantly learning how to escape, then you will never learn how to endure. And that is very true. If you are constantly trying to escape your emotions or the reality of situations, you will not learn how to get through them. And of course, there are things that can happen to us that can be very painful to live through and very painful to feel. But trust me, if you never allow yourself to feel those emotions, if you never allow yourself to hit your pit and hit rock bottom, you won't get through it. Like, the only way out is through. Trust me. Trust me. Allow yourself to feel those emotions. If you're constantly trying to escape your emotions, you won't learn how to get through those emotions. And things move a lot more smoothly in your life when you can learn how to endure through tough emotions. Lesson number 20, you do not have to profit from your hobbies. Now, I am a very creative person, unusually talented in an artistic sense. Because of that, I can kind of feel the pressure sometimes to turn my hobbies and my talents into ways to make money. And every single time that I've done that, it's taken the fun out of hobbies. Like, I used to paint very frequently. I used to do portraits, and I turned that into a business. And right when I turned that into a business, it's when I stopped wanting to do it. And now I very rarely paint unless I just get like a random spark of creation or inspiration to paint. But yeah, you don't have to turn every single hobby into profit. So if you've noticed that I haven't really been putting out music, that is a big reason. Number 21. I've learned that childhood trauma literally shapes your personality and your experience way well into your adulthood. As children, we are sponges. We will absorb our surroundings, and anything that's going on will become a part of the way that we learn how to deal with people, deal in situations. If you do not face those things, and if you are not honest with yourself about those experiences that you've had, it will creep up on you in the most sneaky ways. Our childhood trauma, if left unchecked, can really run the show. Our inner child can run, and probably is running the show, if you have not taken the time to address them and to love on them. Okay, I'm not gonna get emotional. I'm just gonna leave that where it is. Number 22, blood is not thicker than water. And this has been a hard one for me to address within myself. I've learned that just because you are related and just because you are family does not give anyone an excuse to disrespect you, an excuse to not treat you the way that you should be treated, does not give an excuse to, mishandle you in any way. And yeah, that's just something that I've learned and something that I believe. Now, I understand that there are some people that feel like family over everything, and like, that's fine, that's you, I can get that. But I think that it's very case by case, and I'm just gonna leave that there. Number 23, if you cannot trust yourself, you will not know how to trust anything else. This aligns a little bit with the self-love thing. If you do not know how to trust yourself in your own actions, you will not know how to trust anything else that's going on around you. And I don't really know how else to explain that, but yeah, you have to learn how to trust yourself if you're gonna learn how to trust that you are in control of your actions, and trust that if someone does not respect you or if someone puts you in a certain situation, like, you have to know that you trust yourself enough to get out of it and to handle it and to take care of yourself. So yeah, trust yourself. Number 24, surrendering to what is relieves resistance to what is actually meant for you. I think I'm saying that right. But yeah, I'm someone that will fight tooth and nail for something that I believe in. And sometimes that happens to my own detriment, because when I really believe in something and when I really trust something, I will not let it go. I will resist everything that tells me that this is not something that I should believe in, because I believe in it. And I just can be really passionate in that way. But what I've learned is that if there is too much resistance to something that I believe in, then there's a good chance that what I'm believing in isn't what is best for me. And yeah, in other words, you gotta let go and let God. And if what I believe in is something that is true and it's something that is meant for me and it's something that's going to happen anyway, then it's going to happen anyway. But yeah, you should not have to fight so hard for the things that should be in your life anyway. Number 25, God is real. I just know for sure, and I'm speaking for Renika, for myself, I know without a doubt that God exists. Like a higher power is at play. I have experienced way too many things that have just been too on the nose and too uncanny, too strange, too weird, too supernatural to not have been put together in some kind of way. There's just no way that I or anyone else in this world could have made certain things happen. And because of that, I just know that there's a God. Number 27, confidence will get you very far. Even if you're not confident, like as Rihanna said, I was gonna do her accent, but like as Rihanna said, if you don't feel confident, pretend. Number 27, beauty is skin deep. You are beautiful from the inside out. Beauty is not just about how you look. It's so much more. Beauty comes from within. It glows, it shines. If you want to feel beautiful and if you want to be beautiful, you have to truly feel the beauty within yourself of who you are. Find the beauty of who you are. There is something beautiful about you. Even if you don't necessarily identify with the way that you look and you don't feel like this is how you look or whatever, you have to believe it within yourself. You have to feel it within yourself that you are beautiful. Even if it's just like who you are as a person can be beautiful. There's other ways of feeling beautiful besides having like a certain body type or a certain hairstyle or whatever, certain makeup technique, whatever it is. Beauty comes from the inside. You are beautiful because of who you are. Beauty fades on the outside. You grow old, you grow, not that old isn't beautiful, that's not what I'm saying, but you change. The way you look changes is my point. But who you are on the inside as a person, what you give to people, what you show people, that's more constant. And it's so important. Like who you are is beautiful, you know? And I've been so much more satisfied and happy with myself with understanding that I'm a beautiful person. Even if you don't like the way that I look, I know that I'm a beautiful person. Even if I don't like the way that I look, I'm a beautiful person, you know? And that's also important. That's so important. Being a beautiful person, that's a flex. Number 28, you have to focus on improving yourself, not proving yourself. The more that you work on yourself as a person, the more that you work on your habits and all these different things, you will naturally attract the people that are meant for you. You will naturally attract the situations that are meant for you. The moment that you start to feel like you have to prove yourself is when you have to reevaluate the situations that you are in. The people that are meant to see your worth and the situations that are meant to uplift you in your worth and compliment you will naturally happen. You don't have to try so hard to be loved and to be cherished and to be adored when you are in the right place. Okay, I literally just forgot that I was doing 28 things. So that was the last thing. Yay! So I just want to say also, bonus things that I've learned. If a thought doesn't make you feel good, stop thinking the thought. And I know that might be easier said than done, but that's something that I deal with. Like I have an issue with ruminating thoughts. I can ruminate over negative things. I can ruminate over mistakes and replay events over like what I should have did, what I could have did, why didn't I, and all these things. But I just have to learn to reframe the way that I'm thinking of certain things. And if something doesn't make me feel good, if I'm not happy when I'm thinking about something and I'm noticing that it's making me feel less good about myself, then I try to stop thinking about it, or I try to find a way to reframe the thought in a way of, okay, why did that happen for me and not to me? You cannot victimize yourself all the time. The more that you victimize yourself, the less likely it is that you're going to take accountability and learn from your actions and your mistakes. And that is a huge thing that I want you guys to take from this, is taking accountability and understanding that we are all learning lessons. None of us are perfect people, and it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to be liked by everybody. It's okay not to be loved by everybody. It's okay for people to walk away from you. It's okay for people to not see your value and see your worth, as long as they are also walking out the door, because they will not benefit you. And that's okay. It is okay to lose people who do not value you. And it's also okay for you to let go of parts of yourself that you are not proud of. You can learn to love and accept yourself for who you are. And you can also not feel so great about the things that you've done, but you also have to have self-compassion for yourself and understand that if you knew better, you would have done better. And yeah, I think I might leave it there. If you knew better, you would have done better. And you have to trust that. You have to trust that you learn the lessons that you have learned because you needed them. And that's okay. We are learning lessons every single day. I'm sure that there are lessons that I'm going to continue learning. At least now I understand a little bit better that lessons are not punishments. They are ways of bettering yourself for the future. And that there are always going to be setbacks. There are always going to be some roadblocks. And there are always going to be things that don't go my way. But the older that I get and the more that I experience things, the more that I understand that the things that are happening in my life are making room for the things that I actually will thrive in, and the things that I actually will love, and the things that will help me feel more comfortable in this crazy life and crazy world that we are living. And it's all okay. You can find beauty in all of it if you just allow yourself to. Once again, your perception is your reality. So I'm just gonna leave you guys with that. I'm so excited that I got to make this video. I've been thinking about it for a few days and gathering different lessons and writing them down in my notes so that I could tell you guys. Thank you for tuning in to my channel, and be sure to check out some of my other content if you've never been here before. Also, I will try to make a couple more videos in the near future, but I'm also not going to pressure myself into doing it. These days, I'm trying to take a much more easier approach to the way that I do things, because I've been very hard on myself for a very literally like my whole life. I've been pretty hard on myself. So I'm taking it easy, and I hope you are taking it easy wherever you are. I hope that you have lots of love surrounding you, and let me know if you resonated with any of these lessons, and if you have also learned something that I've said, or if you have something to add to this. I would really love to know. I'm sure life does not stop with the lessons. I'm just learning to like live in them, you know, accept them. It is what it is, you know. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. But yeah, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I love you. If nobody's told you today, I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.